What's up guys, welcome to Design Creators. So on this video I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this poster. Now this is a poster that I did I think 2 years back, but there are some issues with this poster like this. If you can notice, now this bike here is moving in this direction, but this jet ski is on a different direction, as well as the boat and the bike. So we have to try our best to maintain the angle of each and every vehicle. So let's say every vehicle should point out in the same direction, so that we will add neatness to graphic designing. It's very important in graphic designing. The alignment, organizing, and the neatness is very much important to create a beautiful looking design. Alright, also these files to download, I will leave everything in the description below on this video. Check that out and download. Also I have left the font as well as the logo and the rest of the images as well. Alright, let's start by creating a A4 document. And I should tell you, Photoshop is not the recommended software if you are creating anything for print. Let's say this is not going to be a print design that you're going to make, and so that we can use Photoshop. So head over to create document page and then go to print, select A4, and everything else is correct for me. Then I'm going to press create button. Alright, and if you noticed on this image, I have divided the width to be 4 parts. Width to be 4 parts, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's exactly what I'm going to do. You could do this by creating a box, rectangle. Just create a rectangle, but this rectangle should fit in your entire width. So give it a color, random color, and get your move tool and click drag one side, and as you can see, it will auto snap like a magnet. That's exactly what I want to the other side as well. If you cannot see, yeah, look at this, it will get snapped automatically to a corner. Once you are done, better to give it the full height as well, then press enter or the stick icon. Yeah, now you have to get your properties panel. If you do not have this properties panel, you have to go to window, and down here you get the properties. Right, so properties panel is the settings of each and every layer that you select. Extra settings of every layer should show here. Let's say now I have not selected any layers, therefore the settings that are showing is related to my document. This is the width, height, and many other document settings that I can change from here. But as soon as I select the rectangle, now some of the settings showing are for the rectangle as well as for the background and so on. Whatever the layer, let's say I have a levels layer. Now if I click on the levels layer, the settings now is for the levels layer. So this properties panel is very much important. Just place it somewhere like this, should be good, or just put it on a small column like this. That should do the work. Now let me delete this. Now as soon as I select the rectangle, the width of that is this number should be divided by 4. That means you have to put a forward slash and type 4, and let me type 4 and press enter. Now it is divided into 4 parts. Okay, that's exactly what I want. Now you have to alt click drag this so that another copy will be created. I have duplicated another copy, but we have to change each one's color so that it will be super easy for us to identify when I give each and every layer on its own color. So if you also notice, how am I changing the color of this layer is by just double clicking this box, tiny box over there. Color picker will open. Now choose any of the color you want and press OK. Let me do the same for the rest as well. Now all these four has been created. We'll see what's next. Yeah, yeah, now we need to create the diagonal triangles, which is this one, so that now you also at the same time have to decide whether you want a 45-degree or any other degree in particular. This could be done easily by getting the rectangle tool, filling with any of the color choice. But in my case, I have to stick with this DFG company's theme color, which this will be the primary theme color, so that I have to move this image inside Photoshop to get a sample color of that. So let's move it inside and press enter. And also I'm going to hide this for a while and create a rectangle, a bigger one, right? I hope you know how to zoom in and zoom out. You have to hold down Alt and scroll wheel. That's how you zoom in, zoom out all the way so that this box is bigger than your document. Then you can, by holding shift, you can rotate it to decide whether you want 45 degrees or any other degree in particular. I feel like the 45 degrees is okay for me. Once I'm done, I'll press enter. Let's move this white box down below here. And also keep in mind, the white box is above every other layer. Now these are the 4 divided layers. On top of that is my new rectangle. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So I also have a feeling that it's too much slanted, so let's not make it too much. I guess this should do. This should work out. Also, we'll enable this image back again and I will sample the color. So select the white triangle that you created, double click this tiny box over here. Once the color picker is opened, you will notice as soon as I take my mouse cursor out of the color picker, the eyedropper will show. Look at this. No matter in which direction I do this, the eyedropper will show. Let me select this. Yeah, it's not showing for the that is because right now we have selected the layers panel. It's on the layers panel, but if I move this to the center, now as you can see, no matter which direction I do this, the color picker will show. Right, move your mouse cursor outside and click on this color so that this color will be applied over here. It will show. So one click there. Now this is the new color which is selected, and then you press OK. All right, this image is no longer needed. Yes, it's no longer needed, so I will delete it. And also we need to take a duplicate copy of this all the way to the top. Right, now I have to decide how much of space I should give for this box. So let me decide. Also, anytime we can adjust this as however I want, so I'm not going to bother about it too much. But in the example image, it is shown like this. And also it is too much slanted. If you can see on the example image, on my current image I have not slanted it much. If you can see the difference, this is too steep, this is not too much steep. That is because if you slant it too much, you will get into some editing issues, such as this bike image, right? There won't be any parts left. That means if the image is ending here, this part we have to recreate it, or we have to duplicate from the image and we have to place it here. So you will run into issues like this. Even I faced the same thing on this boat image here. I had to duplicate few water parts from here and place it downwards to this area. So problems like this will occur mostly if you slant it too much. So just Don't steep it too much like this. Don't do it. All right. Now it's better we could put the logo inside before you do anything. That is because I have to uh, I have to finalize if the spacing for the logo is more than enough. Yeah, it's definitely more than enough, but not like this. That is, we don't have to exactly create how it looks here. I'm going to place it sideways like this because for the logo it's taking too much space and I feel like that's not too much important, so let's leave it here or somewhere here could work out. I'll also make sure that this and this spacing is almost same. Right, it's time to put the vehicle images. Okay, let's start with the bike. So here's the bike image. Okay, all you have to do is just place it inside Photoshop. Okay, sometimes we might face problems like this for some image, so definitely I have to fix this issue that I'm facing here for this image. Maybe I could, if you face anything like this, you can open this with paint. Where is open with paint? I hope this fixes the problem. I'll go to save this as JPG. It should be on my desktop, this folder, this folder, this. I'll paste it here. Done. Here's the photo that I just pasted right now. Yeah, and when I load it inside Photoshop, it should work fine. But also do not place the image, this bike image, inside your document. This document, don't place it here. I mean this area, don't place it here. If you place it, the image will be too tiny for you to cut it out of the background. So let's delete it and we'll paste it, but this time you have to drop it somewhere here in this gray area, right? Somewhere in this area. If you drop it, it will open on a new document just like this. Now when we zoom in, the image quality has been maintained and it's easy to cut for now. But anyway, you have to paste that bike image in this document as well. Let me tell you why. Now it's time for you to decide. First, I will reduce the opacity of that and I will decide how the image should be placed. Okay, let me try to make this bike image furthermore big, like this, much bigger, right? I also noticed that right now it is too small. That's what I noticed on the previous image, but the more we make it bigger, I hope it looks better. That's the whole reason. Also, now I have to decide the angle of this. I guess this is fine for now. I'm not worrying about the angle. Let's place it here. The more you take it outside, as you can see now, you might have to cut all these rim parts of the bike, which is a problem, which is too much time consuming if you want to cut it. So therefore, I'm going to be smart and take it inwards like this, some more in. Perfect. Now I don't have to do much of a work. Maybe I have to take it little bit outwards, It's okay, let me cut it. Let me take some time and cut it. Now, if you noticed, there is another problem here. Some image part is missing here. We'll fix it. Don't worry about that for now. But my main concern is for the next vehicle, will there be enough space? I hope, yeah, there is enough of space. Therefore I'm going to leave the image right here. All right, let's press enter to accept the change, and don't do anything about the image. Don't delete or anything. Go inside the next, but before that, just have a look how much of space required here. Right, a little bit of space required here. So go to Photoshop and get the crop tool, and this is important. Content aware should be enabled. Make sure it is enabled. Now crop tool has been selected. Pull this some more down, the space that was missing from the other side. Yeah, pull it some more down and press enter. Photoshop will try to generate the missing part. If you can see, this is the before and this is the after. Okay, almost it did a good job. It's not much noticeable. Now I can start cutting the parts that I want to be popping outside, which will be starting from this part of the image. Okay, let me start. So this and this, and yeah, all I have to do is cut this part over there, the other side, I mean to the right side. For that I need to get the rectangle tool, just fill it with a box like this for my guidelines, nothing else. Later on I'll be deleting it, just for my guideline, as a guideline. Now all I have to do is select only the parts in the other side, I mean to the right side. Let's use the quick selection tool for this, so it will be super easy. Quick selection tool has been selected. Select the image that you want to cut. In our case it is this background, and start selecting part of the image. And I know this is not a high resolution image or anything. Keep in mind, if you are going to print this image resolution is not at all enough. You need a high resolution image. Also, right now I have selected the quick selection tool, right? From there I'm going to switch to lasso tool, and I'm also going to hold down shift, and you will notice that under my mouse cursor plus is showing when I hold down shift. That means I can click from the inside and go around the edge and leave it from the inside. That means that part will be selected. So if you want to delete any parts, hold down Alt on your keyboard, and now take a look at my mouse cursor. But when I hold down Shift, this is the difference between holding Shift and Alt. So when I click drag Alt, when I click Alt, I have to start from outside, go around and end it where you started, and that will cut that part. But if you need to add anything additionally, that means from the inside you click drag, go inside again and finish where you started, and that will add a few parts. So I am holding down Alt, click dragging around the part that I don't want, and I will leave so that it will get cut. Alright, I better use the quick selection tool again, switching back to it and selecting this part, and the mudguard part I have to select. And make sure to increase or decrease the size of your selection, depends on which part you want to cut. And this is a really poor quality image which I don't recommend, but anyway, for the sake of learning, this is more than enough. So I have to guess my way through when I cut this. Let me just guess and start cutting. Alright, now we don't want this entire circle, so I'm cutting that as well. and that rim lines which is not even visible, so I'm going to ignore it for now. Let's ignore it completely, or you could use the polygon lasso tool, hold down shift and just do this so that it will reveal uh, I'm just going to do this anyway, even though I have no idea that it will be visible on the final image or not, or whether it will be perfect. Anyway, that's more than enough. Once you are done, all you have to do is we need to go to select and mask the selection. In here you have to, but before that, why is this layer showing? I'll hide it. Select and mask. Output to should be set to new layer with layer masking. You press OK. Alright, now let's see. We have this we don't want. We have the part that I cut using a layer masking, and here is the background. We need both of this. I'll also unlock this layer by double clicking here. For whatever the window comes, you press OK. Now both the layers are there. But also remember, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take these two layers to this side. But in the process, if these two images, if these two layers are not smart objects, when you try to resize the image or make it small, or when you make it bigger, the image quality might get lost. So therefore we have to convert both of these to be smart objects. So here's how I'm doing it. Right clicking each layer individually and pressing convert to smart object. One more time, right click here and press convert to smart object. Now this is a smart object. How do I know that? Because I can see the icon of the smart object. Right clicking here and convert to smart object. Both of these are now smart objects. Now what you can do is select both and move it to the other side. And also remember, the opacity layer, the bike layer is still there as a guideline. Now drop the image, and here is the image. Now try to reduce the opacity of these two layers as well. But let me right click here and change it to a different color so that it's super clear and neat and easy to understand. So that's the reason. Let me also reduce its opacity and make it bigger and try to match it as much as possible with this image over here. The sizes should be same. I think it's matching almost, it's matching perfectly, so I don't have to do anything. Let me press enter, increase back the opacity, and this particular layer as a guideline layer I placed, this we don't want, so let's delete it. It's gone. Now we have this part and the background image. Okay, here's the hardest part for beginners, I would say. That is, now we have nothing to do with this layer. What I mean is that this layer is coming out of the background. Out of this yellow color box. This is popping out. That's exactly what I want. Let's leave this layer alone. We have nothing to do with that. But did you notice when I enable the background layer? Okay, fine. Let's call it as bike BG. Okay, bike BG. Now this bike BG layer is extending, going outside. All these parts, I would say all these parts are really unnecessary. We need to cut it, right? In order to cut it, you need to learn about the layer masking also a little bit. Now, if you completely don't know what is layer masking, you have to go to my channel, Design Creators. From here, watch this video, layer mask. in this video I'm going to explain most thing about layer masking as well. Okay, now we need to cut it quickly, all these parts, which is if I reduce this opacity or the transparency, as you can see, all of this part should be completely cut, but only the parts which is on top of this yellow, right, which is on top of this yellow should remain. That's the goal, right? In order to do that, it's super easy. Let me hide both of this layer. You need to learn something new this time. I hope most people doesn't know this. This is the layer, which is the yellow color part, which is our bike is on top of this, right? This layer, if you hold down, if you keep your mouse cursor in front of this thumbnail, and if you hold down control, your mouse cursor will change like this. Now if you press the borders, okay, now if you press the borders of this yellow color box will be getting selected. Now let's say I have a circle here. This is the circle, right? What if I need to make a selection around the borders of this shape? To do that, I have to hold down control here and one click here. See, when I do that, a selection has been made around that shape. Now I can even hide this layer, and now here's the selection. Only the selection is there left. Now we don't even need this anymore. You can even delete it if you want to. Okay, now if you don't know, here's the selection. How do I delete this selection? You have to hold down Ctrl D on your keyboard. That should deselect the selection. Now we'll get back here to this yellow color box. I will hold down Control and click on top of this. Control, click on top of this. As you can see, now the entire part of that yellow color box is now as it is as a selection. Now this layer is unnecessary. If you want, you can hide it or delete it. I'm just going to hide it. Let's enable the background bike image. Okay, this bike background, let's enable it and select it. And you know what, there is a selection here. Background image is selected. Now as soon as you press the layer masking, this button over here, Photoshop will cut everything outside the layer masking. I mean the selection. Photoshop will cut everything out of the selection. It will not cut it permanently, but temporarily it will add the mask and place the unwanted parts inside the masking. So once again, if you don't know how to use masking, please go inside and watch this video. Let me now click on the layer mask button. If you noticed, it cut most of the parts which is outside the selection, right? And also it has added the layer masking, which is this exact part over here. This yellow part has been added here as a masking. All right, now if you enable this part of the head and the tire part, if you enable it, now it will give a illusion that it is the biker is jumping out of that image, this illusion. Right now you might wonder, what do we do for this part as well as the top part? It's super simple. That is because you don't have to cut it or anything. We have this layer over here, this layer. Why don't we put this layer to the top of this bike image? We could do that, right? That should solve the problem. So select that. Here are these two. I will also select both of that and change its color so it's nice and clear. I'm going to select both of this by holding control. So click on one layer, the next layer should be control clicked. Hold down control and click. Now both have been selected. Put it on top of these two. So let me drag and put it on top of those two. Now as you can see, it fixed that problem. But also, did you notice that the logo is missing? Because why? Logo is behind this layer, which we need to find the logo. I'll also rename it as logo so it's clear for you. So that's logo. Let's put it all the way to the top. All right. Next, the next vehicle, which will be the jet ski. Here's the jet ski. So let's click drag it inside Photoshop. Now, I also felt like, if you notice on my previous image, yeah, jet ski is in the correct direction. I thought it was in the other way direction, other way around, but it's okay. Now, how do I flip this image? How do I flip this to match with the direction of the bike facing side? So how do we flip it? Select the image, press Ctrl T to go inside the transformation controls. Now right click. Please wait, let me also enable this. Okay, now right click and press flip horizontal. It will flip the image horizontally, and also reduce the opacity of a layer and try to make it bigger as much as you can. But one thing I have to tell you, on this image, right, definitely if we keep a bike next to a jet ski, the size difference will be there, right? All the vehicles in this list, all these four vehicles is not the same size. Definitely this boat is going to be the biggest of all these vehicles, but it's better to organize these all this vehicle to be to have the same looking size, so that it's much more neat and aligned properly. So that now I have to try to also, I need to, yeah, overall the jet ski image is almost big now. Yeah, we cannot also, if you notice, I cannot match the head size of this biker to this guy's head size. It's not possible. When I do that, the jet ski image is becoming way too much bigger because it's too tall, it's too wide. Therefore, we need to do something like this. Also, the direction of the vehicle, when I put like this, yeah, now if you can see, as I told you, the facing direction, now I have to put it like this, or the bike is facing this direction, right? Okay, let me try to match it with that. Yeah, this should do it, but also let me try to adjust the direction of the jet ski, maybe this direction a bit. Okay, I also need to make it smaller, bit smaller, so that it can fit in perfectly. So on this image, I cannot place it here definitely because it is getting cut. What about here? This should do it, I guess. Fine, let me place it here. Please wait, let me check it. So how do I place the boat? Also, one thing I have to do is, I'm thinking maybe I'm wrong about the bike image. The bike image. Let me also hide both of that layer and bring in a new bike layer and reduce its opacity, and I'm going to try to give it a different direction this time. Different direction, and also yeah, placing it like this should work the best. Okay, that's placed. Now the jet ski image, let me select that. The bike image seems to be way too much bigger, so let me place it, make it smaller and give enough of room space for the jet ski image like this. I'll also bringing the boat inside this here, and also you have to reduce its opacity a little bit and try to change its direction to match with the rest of the vehicles. Now the boat fits in perfectly, but I'm worrying about the jet ski, which is not fixing perfectly to me. Maybe, yeah, maybe I could do this. Yeah, I got idea. Let me tell you that in a while, but let me also change the direction of this a bit like that. Now finally we have the bike. We'll worry about that lastly. But my plan right now is, let me hide all of these three. The plan was one, if one image coming out from the top, the other image will be coming out of the bottom, and definitely the next image will be pop out from the top. So top, bottom, top, and the bike will be definitely popping out from the bottom. But did you know that we cannot do it, right? Because the image doesn't extend anymore. So therefore we have to try to make the bike pop in the other direction like this, just like in here. Okay, so I feel like I better place that as well as a guide image so that it will be super easy for me. Okay, the angle and opacity, let's maybe put it the biker, we don't have to make the biker visible, just the bike alone is fine. Maybe like this. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Let me select the jet ski image. This, hold down control and click drag it to balance it perfectly. The boat should go a little bit upwards. I think overall it's looking good. Overall looking good. Okay, so let me select all the guide image and give it a different color so that it's super visible. And let me enable this bike image again, and you notice that I have to cut this again out of the background again from the beginning. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time to redo that again, because you know this process, you know how to do it. So therefore at this moment I'm going to skip the video, I mean fast forward the video until I finish this part. Okay. Okay, so in this part I have to, if you notice, I have to select the rim part. So I'm not going to do that because it will consume a lot of time, but here's how you do it. You step by step add that to your selection. So another line is coming from here, so one by one you have to add it to the selection like this. But I'm going to ignore most of this parts and just going to leave it there. Also I need to cut few parts from here, which I will do it quickly, but I know this is not acceptable at all, not clean at all, but I have to teach you this fastly, so therefore I did it. Now let's go to select and masking. As you can see, it's not perfect at all. new layer with layer mask. I'll press OK. Both of these should be converted to a smart object, so let me do it. Okay, now both are a smart object. Let's select both of these. Also, if you want, give it a color and drag it to the other side. Make it big as possible. Reduce the opacity and try to match in with the guide image, which will be a bit smaller. I have to make it smaller. Now let me move closer and see if it's even matching now. Yeah, I need to make it some more small. Yeah, it's almost perfect now. Once I'm done, I'll press tick and delete the guideline which you don't want. Or maybe we can hide the guideline, because let all the guideline images be. Now let's bring back the opacity of both of these which I reduced. The same step you have to continue. Go down and this yellow color box over here, control click on that thumbnail, go up and select the background by background and apply the layer mask button. Press it. Okay, now as we planned, we have to bring these two to the top. Okay, now it's nice. Now one thing that if you noticed, few parts here is getting extended from the background, I guess, which is not from the background, from this, so that since it doesn't have a layer masking, we have to add the layer masking to that. Okay, please wait. My layers panel got closed, so let me also reset my workspace. Alright, so let me apply a layer masking to that. B for brush tool, and if this is white, the color should be selected black, and increase the size of the brush and start erasing. Okay, that's gone now. That is fixed. Also, if you can notice that it is not perfect at all, I have to take my entire time and fix everything properly, but for the sake of the video, let me leave it like that. Okay, the next guideline image is this jet ski, which is here. Okay, let's place the jet ski over here, and I will make sure I visible only this guy so that it will be much neater. Right, also let me see. Yeah, I also could bring this a little bit upwards. Also, did you know that anytime you can select both of the bike layer and bring it up or downwards? See, you could do it a little bit to the top or a little bit to the top and fix all the issues that are going forward, going on in the top. You can try. Even for the jet ski, I can do that later on, but of course you can't move it left or right. When I move it to the left or right, you see the problem here. That's not going to work out that way. All right, so let's close this completely and bring in the jet ski image inside Photoshop. And we also need to make sure that I flip it horizontally and go to the other side and just have a look. It's starting from this sticker over here next to that sticker and all the way. Yeah, that sticker as a guideline. When I zoom in, I will create a box. I have to select everything on the right side. Right, let me get the selection tool, the quick selection tool, and select most of the part of the boat or the jet ski. Now, perfect. There are some imperfections, of course, which I have to spend some time and do it, but on this video I'm not going to do that because it is once again time consuming. Because this is a tutorial, I'm going to leave it like that. Right, now we'll delete this, not needed. Now let's hide it. Select the background image. New layer with layer masking should be applied. It is applied. Now let's press OK. Remember, both of these layers once again should be a smart object. Therefore, select one by one and press convert to smart object for both the layers, and select both of them, and if you want, add the new color to that, send it to the other side and reduce the opacity and try to match in with the guideline image. I also have to reduce opacity furthermore, moving the board, trying to match with the same board. And if I match the both the front parts, okay, I need to make the image some more bigger just by moving it again, the front parts of the jet ski together. And now if you see that it is in the same size, but only the thing is we need to try to change the angle a little bit. Yeah, some more and some more, make it bigger. Yeah, as you can see, it is fitting in perfectly. Now you press enter, bring back the opacity to 100, and remember to hide the guideline image or the reference image. Now we have to hide this for now, and this color over here, this blue, you have to find it on your layers, which is this, the second one. Now control click on this to create a selection. The create selection has been created. Find out the jet ski's background, this, and press the apply layer masking button to that so that it will get applied. Now you can bring these two layers to the top. Also, as I told you, now you can select both the jet ski layers and bring it to the top or bottom. As you can see, it is adjustable, but definitely not to the left or right. And when I put this layer to the top, of course, the bike's layer, the bike tire part has been gone behind this layer. You could anytime select it and bring it to the top, and it's super easy as that. Select it and bring it to the top. See, that fixed the problem. It is on top of the jet ski image layer. Now this issue you might face throughout the rest of the other two vehicles when you place them also. Okay, so let me try to enable the boat guide or reference image and little bit bring it to the bottom. It's too close to the top. Maybe like this should work. I also feel like it should be slanted some more to match with the direction of the rest of the vehicles. That's perfect. Okay, now let's go and find the image and bring it inside Photoshop. Double click here. Wait a minute, we don't have to slant it right now. Let's check how much I need to cut. I need to cut this part of the railing. Okay, it's not going to be that hard, I guess. So let's get the quick selection tool. Just select it very roughly like this. Right, selection has been made. Now this iron bars or the railings. So how do I do that? Is by getting the polygonal lasso tool, holding down shift, then going around and around. As you can see, I'm not trying to be perfect here. I'm very roughly selecting this. Just click and go around by clicking and finish where you started. Perfect. Now you know what to do. Go to select and mask, but this time this layer with a new masking, and okay. Both of these should be converted to a smart object. I have to enable this, then convert it to a smart object, convert to a smart object. Both are now smart objects, you can select both and send it to the your editing document. In here, try to increase the size. Also definitely have to rotate it. Yeah, definitely I need to make it bigger. Move it in here. Is it matching? Some more bigger. Moving it closer. Now if you can see, it is almost matching, so therefore I'm going to leave it as it is and hide the reference. In our case, this is the reference. Selecting both of these, bringing back the opacity. Now you will notice the problem. Not enough parts of the sea. You can try to get a different image. You can try to, let me, the content area is not working, maybe because it's a smart object. Yes, let me bring it some more to the bottom and press the tick. Photoshop sometimes will try to do a good job. Yeah, it's almost fine, I guess. Select part of the C, copy paste it, Control C, Control V to copy paste it, convert it to a smart object, bring this box to the other side. And also we have to make it bigger and rotate it. Some more, I'll make it bigger and leave it right here and press the tick. All right, now we'll continue the same thing. This purple color box should be selected, right? That purple color box should be selected by control clicking on it. Select this, press the apply layer masking button, go down one more time, control click on the purple color layer. For the boat background layer, select it and apply layer masking for that as well. And as always, you can select these two and send it to the top. Now here is a patch we need to fill. That I can do it easily by adding a new layer right here. So if you don't know how to add a new layer, select this, press this button. Here's the new layer. B for brush tool. Get your brush tool, press B on your keyboard, get the brush tool. Hold down Alt and click drag and sample the color of the sky and just click and fill that area. So let me fill this color. And once I do that, as you can see, this layer is going on top of the other side of the sky. For that, I need to put it below the jet ski layer. Now, as you can see, it fixed it. All right. And when I zoom out, it is not even noticeable that it is there. Even the water seems like it is matching perfectly. It's not noticeable. The line over here is not noticeable at all. So I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, perfect. Now for the final part, the bike, let's select this, close it, and the other image also to be closed. Selecting the bike image, bring it in to a new layer. Also I will enable the reference bike image, bring it all the way to the top so that it's visible. It is the top now. Okay. Also, compared to the rest of the vehicles, I feel like this bike is way too bigger. So we need to make it small. Now compared to the rest of the vehicle, it seems fine, I guess. Some more smaller. Yeah, this should do. Okay. Now I need to know which part of the bike that I have to cut out of the background. from next to the side mirror, right? Yeah, from the side mirror I have to cut it. It's also angled in bottom next to the bike, I mean the tire. Yeah, I need to cut everything on the left side, but this is going to be a bit harder because see there are so many holes here on the disc here, but I'm just going to ignore all of that. Select this layer and go and select any quick selection tool and press select and mask. But before that, select the subject automatically. We'll see how much of a good job that Photoshop does. It's not perfect, but let me try to manually get some selection added which are missing. Okay, these parts I can hold down Alt on my keyboard and click so that it will get deselected or not get selected. Reducing the size of the brush, Alt click on there, Alt click on here. Yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in here, but there is one more problem here. This entire area is another problem. So for this, what I could do is try to see if I can select like this. Yeah, that's it. Here as well. I guess there are lots of fixes needs to be done here, but let me ignore all these parts that I need to cut out of the background. Let me ignore all of this. Okay, fine. Let's go to select and masking. New layer with layer masking and press OK. You know what to do. Both of these should be converted to a smart object. Convert to smart object, convert this as well to a smart object, select both and send it to the other side. I need to reduce the opacity and make it bigger and rotate it. Let me reduce the opacity furthermore so the bike in the background is clearly visible. I need to rotate it like that. Yeah, it's too big. Let me reduce the size. Match the tires and see if it's big. It's some more need to make it bigger, and that should do it. It's done, and let's press enter. Bring back the opacity, and the reference image is no longer needed, so we can hide it or just delete it. But also you can put all the reference images together, all of this, and hide them. Select all of the guideline images and press Ctrl G. They are now just hidden inside the group. You can call it as reference. This is just they are hidden for later use. Now we need to fix the missing parts, but before I do that, why don't I control click on this layer, the green color layer, go up, select the bike background and apply a layer masking to that as well. All right, now let's fix the missing part of the images. This part, let me do it by for this I can fill a color, so let me go all the way down and create a new layer. B for brush tool, sample the color of the sky and just click it and fill it. That should do it. but for the bottom in here we have to select this and rasterize this layer so that the content area this should work. Then we can extend it down and press enter. As you can see, it is not much usable, but this area is usable, I guess. So let me copy paste it, convert that to a smart object, bring it to the other side, rotate it, and make it bigger and place it somewhere like this and press enter. Select that layer, control click on that blue color line, the green color line, select this patch layer and apply layer masking to that as well. Once you are done, you know what to do. Select both of these and bring it all the way to the top. Now we need to fix the jet ski should go to the top. So let me find out the jet ski layers, which is orange color. Send it on top of the boat. Right, where is the boat layer? That's the bike layer which I'm moving, which is completely wrong. Anyway, let it be like that. The jet ski layer color was purple. Yeah, I have to send it on top of the boat layer. And also, if you can see, this layer is on top, so I have to put it below. That fixed it. Now I need to find this layer and put it above the jet ski layer. And when I do that, also it should be above all, above all. But when I do that, as you can see, front part is okay, fine, but here it's extending here as well. For that, I could erase it by applying a layer masking. If this is white, the color should be black. Take the brush tool and erase the part that you don't want, and that fixed it. Right, so now we have fixed all the vehicles directions as well. Okay, the directions has been fixed. And also, if you can see, the bike is at the top, another vehicle bottom, top, bottom. That is repeating and it's nice thing. All right, what's next? Next is, I'm not going to type this text and do it for you because you can do it by yourself. All you have to do is type the exact text and put a red color line down here, and that's done. Next, put the logo. Where is our logo? Take the logo all the way to the top. That's not the logo. I renamed it as logo, so here it is. Let me send it to the top. One thing, you can find this light trace image which is in here. Keep it here, place it somewhere here. That should do it. Also put it below this blue color layer and try to change its blending mode. So select that layer and change its blending mode. Yeah, before I do that, alt click on this layer, so the selection around it will be made. Select the light trace image and apply a layer masking to that. So what did I do? I just cut the extending part. Now you can select this layer and change the blending mode to whatever you prefer. I feel like this should be fine. This is also okay. Hue, I'm going to leave it at hue and just oh, maybe since the logo is not visible because it blends in with the white color light trace, I can try a different one. Okay, hard light seems to be perfect. I'll also try to reduce the opacity a bit. Yeah, or else I could increase the light trace overall size a bit. And one more time, you need to control click on this and reapply the layer masking. You can delete it and reapply the layer masking. Yeah, that fixed most of it. That should do it. Yeah, the next thing is try to add the text here. So hope this video is helpful. If so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel to receive further more videos like this, more about graphic designing. Thank you all for watching. Take care. Have a great day.